Hi guys, just wanted to do a quick review on this amplifier, the RM Italy KL703. So I bought this back in April of this year from I'm going to say a local, from a ham shop up north. I won't say the company's name because the issue that I'm having with it I don't believe is their fault, or somewhat not their fault. So basically when I bought this amplifier, it said that it needed a 60 amp power supply. So those provided me or recommended a 50 amp power supply. Raised it, went, nope, that's no problems. That 50 amp power supply will work. The power supply is basically the same as that one there, but it was 50 amps. As that one there's 30 for the radio. So they gave us that. Had nothing but issues where the amplifier would just keep cutting out. And in the end, they had said, yes, that power supply is not big enough to run this amplifier, which I knew it wasn't, because the instruction states it needs a 60 amp amplifier, not a 50, in order to run it. So then they said I had to purchase another power supply, which was this one here, which is 60 amps, and it has been working no problems at all. I've just had to disconnect the cables there from it, because the other cables for the amplifiers down in there, and obviously didn't want them being connected, so we've disconnected it for now. So the amplifier had been working fine from that point on. However, the other power supply that I did get with it, the 50 amp, basically every time you keyed up the microphone in order to speak, the power supply would just go dim on the lights, and then it wouldn't work. I think the power supply had like the normal electrical burning smell for when it's overheating, although it wasn't overheating, or it didn't feel as though it was hot. But basically it couldn't cope with this amplifier. So since I've had the new power supply, it's been working fine, except for last night. So last night I was on 11 meter band, talking as normal, and then all of a sudden from nowhere, there was a funny electrical burning smell. So I powered everything off straight away, even though I was in the middle of a QSO. My equipment comes first, not the QSO. So basically I turned everything off immediately, went around smelling all the different bits and pieces that I've got. And this one here, the amplifier, was very smelly at the back, and it's still smelly now, some 24 hours on. So on the instructions, it states that we run it between 1 and 35 watts maximum on all modes, and the output power is maximum of 500 watts. Okay, so I have been running it on 35 watts on the radio. As you can see there, it is always set to 35 watts, and I will only use the maximum power setting, which is this button here in the middle, is the maximum output, which will put it at 500 watts. So when there's a big pile up for somebody, I would turn it on the maximum. I would get in there. When it's actually in there and I'm having the QSO with the station, I then turn the power down onto the 2, which is like the medium power. So I operate mainly on the medium power. So it normally kicks out about 300 to 350 watts according to my meter. Now, my SWR does not move at all. I do a tune on every frequency I go to before actually powering up to talk, and the tuner I use is the LDG AT600 Pro 2. So I always tune from that before actually keying up. Even if I'm just going from 555 and I'm going down to say 550, I will always do a tune on the frequency before talking. Like I say, the SWR does not move at all, that needle. So the SWR is like 1.0, 1.1 max, never higher than that. So I phoned the company who I got it off. I've only had it 6 months. And the guy who I'm speaking to there is basically said, yeah, putting too much power into the amplifier, even though the instructions say 1 to 35 watts max. They're saying that basically I'm putting in too much power, but that's what the instructions state. So I've followed everything in here to the letter. I've not overdriven it at all. I've done everything that this instruction booklet has told us to. So yeah, so the company has basically said that they're going to collect the amplifier on Tuesday, because obviously it's Friday today and they don't work over a weekend, and the courier wouldn't come and collect until next week. So, and I'm at work Sunday and Monday daytime, and I'm on Tuesday and Wednesday night shift. So Tuesday is when I'm going to be in the house all day. So they're going to come and collect it on Tuesday. Now, there's not much to this. We have the preamp on and off. I've got the preamp off. Every now and again I'll use that. We've got the power on and off. The power going in and out. So I'm out the radio. We've got it on 2, which is medium power. In the middle, which is 0, is high power. 1 is low power. And then we've got AM, FM, and SSB. And I don't really use AM or FM. If I do, then it's only for listening. I never really transmit on them frequencies. Always SSB. So I'm always on 11 meter band. So there's not much to it. So around the back, we can see there's not much to it at the back either. We have the coax cable and plug that goes from the radio to the amplifier, and then the plug over here that goes to the old antenna. Now the power cable is quite a thick, heavy duty power cable. So that's the end that goes on to the power supply here. And underneath here, you can see here is where the cables that go into the back of the amplifier, they're all crimped properly, and they always fully get inserted and fastened up nice and tight. Not too tight, because obviously you don't want to over tighten the screws. So basically had all the correct cabling, etc. So not much really to it. And obviously it's got the 2 heatsink fans on the top to try and keep it cool. And obviously my cupboard doors are always open, except for when everything is switched off. I power everything down and I close the cupboard door. So there's plenty of air circulating around there. There's no reason on why it would overheat. Nothing else overheats. The power supply unit doesn't overheat. That's 2 of them in there. Nothing overheats at all. So like I say, yesterday was talking, and then all of a sudden it just, very horrible electric burning smell. And as you can see, it's never been tampered with. It's still got the RM warranty void sticker on there. So I've never even been inside of it. But when you put your nose to here, you can smell the electrical burning smell. So obviously something has gone inside of the amplifier, but it shouldn't have, because as I say, everything on the instruction booklet has been followed. So the whole point in having an amplifier, in my eyes, is if it does 500 watts, then you technically should be able to use the 500 watts. However, I've only ever been running it at 35 watts input from the radio to the amplifier, and then it's always been on setting number 2, which is medium power, there, and that's how I've been transmitting. No problems at all, like I say, until yesterday. So a little bit of a review here for the amp. Yes, it was a good amp up until yesterday, when it started not to work and let off a bit of a horrible electrical burning smell. So I don't know what the outcome of this is going to be until the shop gets it back and the guy then actually inspects it. But like I say, this amplifier is only 6 months old. Now, he doesn't rate this amplifier at all, and he has recommended an amplifier which that company builds, but that amplifier is over £2,000 each. So that's a lot of money. And I think he said it was up to 1 kilowatt in power. I don't need 1 kilowatt of power. The 500 watts done me, for what I wanted and needed it to do. But yeah, a lot of money, in order to get an amplifier up to 1 kilowatt. Like I say, I don't need that. So yeah, so just a bit of a review to let people know with regards to this amplifier. Please do leave a comment if you have one of these amplifiers and whether you've had any issues with them. Just trying to find out whether it is an ongoing issue with this type of amplifier or not. I mean, I struggled, if I'm being perfectly honest, finding a power supply unit to run this. The shop that I bought it off had recommended one. Actually sent that one with us, which was the 50 amp one. Didn't work. You know, it wouldn't do what it was supposed to do, even though that those recommended it. And then they recommended the one I currently have, which is that one over there, the silver one in the corner, which is the 60 amp power supply. That's the one that then second, but that cost more money to get that one. And like I say, that one's been working fine. So yeah, please let me know if you've had this amplifier, if you've had any issues with it, how do you find dealing with the shop that you got it from, if you did have any issues, and whether it had to go back to RM Italy, and what was their warranty cover like on it. You know, I'm a very open and honest guy. If it's down to me and user error, you know, I would admit that it was down to me. I don't know, let's say I was overdriving it. Let's say that on here it says 1 to 35 watts. If I was putting, say, 40, 50, 60 watts into it, and yeah, absolutely get it. But when I've been running it at 35 watts all the time going in, and you can see it on my videos as well on YouTube, it's always set at 35 watts input because that's what the instructions say max. So I've been putting the maximum power in. So the guy from the shop had recommended I should be putting in around about 10 to 15 watts maximum. But then, you know, you're then spending all that money on an amplifier, and then you're going against what the instructions are telling you, and you're putting in less power, which means you're going to get less power out. So yeah, which then sort of defeats the object in my eyes. But yeah, please do let me know what's what. I will keep you guys updated as and when I get a report back from the shop, and I will make another video then just to explain what's going on with regards to the amplifier. Hopefully it will be covered under the warranty because, like I say, it's 6 months old, and this is now an ongoing issue I've had with the amplifier and the power supply unit. I don't know if the power supply unit that I was originally got had caused some damage inside of it, because that's what the shop had recommended, or whether it's just a one-off faulty item. I honestly don't know until the guys at the shop get it back. And then yeah, I'll be able to update you. But yeah, like I say, let me know if you have had this amplifier or know anybody who's had this amplifier, and let me know what the issues were and what the outcome was, etc, etc. So yeah, until then, I hope to hear you on the airwaves if you're on the 11 meter band. So yeah, 73s, take care.